Hi guys, my name is Alexia Gonzalez. This is video number 2 for strength and conditioning plyometrics version. I'm going to be taking you through some exercises and workouts that can help you build your muscular strength and power, ranging with 3 variations of beginner, intermediate, and advanced. That way anybody at any level can participate in any of these exercises. I am starting on the treadmill for my first exercise in my warm-up. This is going to help with increasing my heart rate, getting the blood flow. That way it can prime my muscles and get them ready for all the workouts that I'm about to do. I am just walking at a low speed right now. I believe it was 2.5, nothing too fast nor too slow. I did want to get into why plyometrics is great to add to any fitness routine, especially for athletes. It does enhance and improve your explosive power and agility, overall athletic performance. So this is going to be very quick and powerful movements. And the outcome of this is it does improve your neuromuscular coordination and proprioception. So that definitely leads to better movement in whatever sport you're in, or if you're leaning towards some type of goal. And what's great about it is that you can pretty much include plyometrics in almost any exercise, and anyone who has any fitness levels or goals, it can be adaptable. My next warm-up exercise that I am doing is jumping jacks. I am doing it for a total of 1 minute, but I did separate them into 30-second intervals 2 times. Jumping jacks are great because they provide a full body workout in such a short amount of time. And this is including your legs, arms, your core, and cardiovascular system. They also improve your muscular endurance and coordination, and it's known to be offering so many numerous health benefits that are versatile and effective for overall health. Muscles being worked in jumping jacks include your quads, your hamstrings, and your calf muscles, specifically in your legs, and this is when you jump and you land. And of course, your core muscles, your abdominals and obliques. This is to stabilize your body when you're jumping, to keep that balance and control. Now, the arm movement, when your arm goes up in jumping jacks, when you raise your arms up over your head and return them back to your sides, that's working your shoulders, specifically your deltoids, and also your triceps and any upper back muscles like your latissimus dorsi. My third warm-up exercise is going to be body squats. These are excellent for warming up because it engages multiple muscle groups, including your quads, your hamstrings, glutes, and the core. It's going to prepare them for the intense workout we're about to have. And it increases blood flow to these muscles to help with the flexibility and reducing injury. I'm also doing these for 1 minute, and these body squats are very good to do in a warm-up because it's a very functional movement pattern. So we're always squatting down for so many activities and sports movements in our everyday life. So it's going to make them practical and effective when you add them into your workout. I did want to mention I am in no way, shape, or form an expert, so many of these exercises may look a little funky when I'm doing them, especially my form, but I am trying. I do have to admit, from someone who just power lifts in the gym, I did enjoy these plyometric exercises, and I think that I will start including them in my workouts because of how they made me feel. My fourth warm-up exercise are arm circles, and I'm going to be doing these bilaterally, so both at the same time. I'm going to be doing 30 seconds going one direction counterclockwise, and then 30 seconds going clockwise. These really help increasing the blood flow specifically to your shoulder joint and your surrounding muscles. That way it can allow the flexibility and reduce of injury with your upper body exercises that you're going to perform. This dynamically stretches your muscles and ligaments in the shoulder, improving your range of motion and mobility, and it engages specifically your deltoid muscles, which are responsible for shoulder movement, as well as the rotator cuffs, which stabilize the actual joint. My fifth warm-up exercise is going to be high knees. This is great to elevate your body temperature. It allows that oxygen to deliver to your working muscles that you're about to use. And specifically, the high knees definitely helps you engage your hip flexors, your quadriceps, and core muscles. This helps with the flexibility and mobility and coordination all in your lower body. These are especially great for any runners or anything involving running or jumping. It does provide a dynamic and efficient warm-up that targets multiple muscle groups and prepares your body for optimal performance. I am doing a minute of these high knees, but I did split them into 2 sets of 30 seconds each. My next stretch is hip circles. I am doing a minute of this, which is just 30 seconds on each leg. I am holding on to the doorway, or you can hold on to a wall. This just helps me stabilize my body. That way I can keep it into place and only move my hip. This warm-up is going to help you engage your hip flexors, hip abductors, adductors, and gluteal muscles. This is essential for hip stability and proper lower body mechanics. It's going to help you prepare those muscles for a more intense activity. That way, when you're performing it, it won't be as tough on your body. These will also help alleviate any tension and stiffness in your hips or your lower back. My next warm-up exercise is going to be walking lunges. I am doing this for 1 minute, just walking down and back, alternating legs. These are great for muscle activation and joint mobility. It provides mobility in the hips, knees, and ankles specifically, and helps with balance and coordination as you move forward and lower your body into the lunge position. Practicing this exercise helps with proprioception and neuromuscular coordination, enhancing overall movement quality. For my next exercise, I'm going to be doing a dynamic hip flexor stretch. I'm going to be holding each leg and stretching it out for 30 seconds each. And it is an excellent warm-up because it does increase blood flow to your muscles. It improves flexibility and enhances joint mobility. Specifically, this stretch targets the muscles in front of your hip, including your iliopsoas, rectus femoris, and TFL. By actively moving through these stretches, you will increase circulation to these muscles, so it's going to help you reduce stiffness and improve your muscle elasticity. And this is going to help you improve your overall performance by allowing your muscles to contract and relax more efficiency during the exercise. This is one of my favorite exercises because it helps with triple extension, especially when I'm about to have a leg day. For squats in specific, I feel like I am able to squat more and have more range of motion and feel the balls of my feet going down on the ground when I squat rather than my heels lifting up. So I love to incorporate this in all of my warm-ups when I go to the gym. And I'm going to be doing leg swings in this clip. I'm doing 30 seconds each on each leg. And these in specific, I love them. They are very great, especially when you're doing exercises involving lower body movements that require such a high level of hip mobility. Such as like running, jumping, or strength training. I have seen my body and felt it become less stiff before I actually work out when I do these. These open up my whole entire hip, my leg. I feel so like bendy, stretchy. So it's really great. And it allows that flexibility to be there when you don't have it. It also helps blood flow start going and joint mobilization. This is also going to help with neuromuscular activation and, of course, injury prevention. My next warm-up is going to be a hamstring stretch. I'm going to be stretching each leg for 30 seconds each, which is a total of 1 minute. I am using a little platform bench thing to put my foot or put my leg up against. That way I can elevate it and keep it straight. I am going to slightly bend my knee with this as well. So you should feel it all in the back of your leg, specifically like the back of your thigh where your hamstrings are at. This is also going to help with poor posture and lower back pain. If you regularly include stretching your hamstrings out as a part of your workout routine, it can help correct imbalances and maintain better alignment during your exercise. The first modality I'm going to do is lower body plyometrics. I am going to be doing box jumps in these variations, and the first one I'm starting off with in the video is a double leg box jump, and I'm using a 6-inch box. For these box jumps, you're going to place the box or platform in front of you. I'm using the 6-inch box, but you can always use a taller box or platform depending on your ability and how proficient you are. And what you're going to do is you're going to stand facing with your feet shoulder width apart with your toes pointed outwards. Make sure to keep your arms out ready to swing, and you'll begin with slightly bending your knees and hinging at your hips. You're going to be starting at a quarter squat, and you're going to be explosively pushing through the balls of your feet, extending your knees, hips, and ankle to propel your body upwards. This is going to make your arms swing forward. That way it can help generate momentum as you jump up. Try your best to aim onto the box. When you land, your jump simultaneously and land as softly as you can. Now, I am going to be going into my squat box jumps, and I am doing 1 minute of each of these variations, by the way. It is going to have the same complex and the same setup. The only thing is, your starting position, you will begin in a squat position rather than a partial squat position. This is going to provide more strength and power to your lower body because the muscles you're using are specifically your quads, your glutes, calves, and your core, especially your hip flexors. These all play into all the phases before, during, and after the jump. Also, make sure to engage your core muscles for stability and control during this exercise, and make sure you bend your knees upon landing to absorb all the impact, and step down carefully with both of your feet when you're done to repeat the exercise. This variation is my intermediate variation compared to the first one, which was my beginner. As for my advanced version, we are going to be going with a single leg box jump. Now, this has the same starting position as the first one, a partial squat. The only thing is you will be lifting up one leg, so make sure you have your arms ready to swing for this one because you are going to need more momentum to bring your body upwards. This exercise is working out the same muscles as before, just because it is a different variation, just slightly harder. The only thing is, though, it is unilateral, so strength and stability are a big part in this. So it is going to help with coordination, balance, and proprioception, which can help with muscular imbalances in athletes. My second exercise I'm doing for lower body plyometrics are standing jumps. This one in specific is a beginner double leg vertical jump. I am going to be standing with my feet shoulder width apart and a slight bend in my knees in a partial squat. And this is going to help me prepare to be explosive. I'm going to swing my arms back to help with momentum for my jump and to be able to explode, which will help me extend my hips, knees, and ankles to jump vertically off the ground. And as I land, I should be absorbing all the impact. This exercise works out your glutes, quads, calves, hamstrings, and core, and also your arm muscles. It allows you to develop lower body explosive, power coordination, strength, and then it's beneficial for any sports involving jumping. I am going to be doing 1 minute of each of these exercises. For my intermediate version, I am going to be doing a single leg vertical jump. Now, it is a little bit more difficult than the first one just because it is a unilateral type of exercise. So it is going to help with unilateral strength, stability, and coordination. I am going to be starting up on the same position. The only thing is I'm going to be lifting up one leg and the other one's going to be slightly bent. And bending my knee and hip will allow me to get into that partial squat. That way I can load my leg muscle and prepare for my explosive movement. I'm also going to be swinging my arms here as well. It's going to give me momentum for my jump from the squat position that I will be in. And this is going to help me extend my knees and hips off my supporting leg to jump up from the ground. This is going to help me push into the balls of my feet to achieve that maximum height when I jump up. And as I land, I'm going to absorb the impact and stabilize my body to make sure my foot is planted on the ground. Make sure to also maintain your posture and balance as you repeat your repetitions. This does involve the same muscle movement, but it provides a more beneficial factor to improve unilateral explosiveness and enhance sports performance where single leg power is crucial. As for my advanced version, I am doing a vertical jump to broad jump. And in this variation, we are going to perform a vertical jump followed immediately by a broad jump. The vertical jump emphasizes vertical explosiveness, while the broad jump involves horizontal distance and landing on both feet. I'm going to start in standing position with feet shoulder width apart, and I'm going to start off with my first initial vertical jump position with a slight bend in my knees and swinging my arms to jump up from a partial squat. And as soon as I land, I will shift my momentum forward and extend my knees, hips, and ankles into a broad jump without pausing. This will allow me to emphasize horizontal power and explosiveness. This targets the same muscle groups, but the only thing is the adductors and hip flexors play a big significant role in this exercise. As I land each time, I'm stabilizing my body to prepare me for the next repetition. This exercise can provide improvement in explosiveness and athleticism due to the coordination and dynamic balance involved from the vertical and horizontal jumping movements. Now for my second modality, I'm going to be using battle ropes. This first exercise you see is going to be a beginner variation of double waves with the rope. I am going to start by standing with my feet shoulder width apart and my knees slightly bent while holding each of the ropes at the end with an overhand grips and my palms facing downwards with my elbows slightly bent. I'm going to rapidly, simultaneously move my arms up and down to create one single wave, and I'll try to maintain that wave throughout the ropes. You can see that I'm trying my best. This exercise is going to help you target your deltoids, biceps, triceps, rectus abdominis, obliques, and even your rhomboids and trapezius. And increasing the speed and intensity can help you challenge yourself more, which is great to improve your cardiovascular fitness, endurance, and coordination. This also engages your core muscles for stabilization and support during this exercise. As for my intermediate version, the only difference here is I will be moving one arm up as the other one goes down. And the whole time, this is going to be more challenging than the first one because compared to a double wave rope, you're going to be alternating. So you're going to try to keep the pattern consistent the whole time, which can be really challenging. As for my advanced version, I am doing alternating wave ropes with a shuffle. This variation is going to add a side-to-side shuffle movement while you're performing the alternating waves. This adds a dynamic element from engaging your lower body muscles along with your core muscles for stability and balance. This is going to be a much more challenging exercise due to the alternating ropes with shuffle, incorporating that lateral movement with your feet. So it's going to add an extra challenge and engage additional muscle groups in your lower body. You're also going to try to keep it nice and controlled the whole time. I did do about 1 minute each for these exercises with the wave ropes. As for the last one, I did separate it into 2 different sets of 30 seconds just because it definitely was a lot more challenging than the other ones, but it was really fun to perform. For my second exercise, I'm going to be doing power slams. This one in specific is a beginner bilateral power slam. For my intermediate version, I'm going to be doing standing battle rope jump slams. And for my advanced version, I'm going to be doing standing battle rope slams with a lunge. specifically an alternating lunge. For my third modality, I'm going to be doing agility ladder drills. And this first one is going to be a forward step ladder drill. So this one I'm performing is actually a single step ladder drill, which is a beginner one I chose. I am doing this for 1 minute, just stepping my foot in each square, just with a slight sprint. You can go a lot more faster or slower. It was my first time in a while using ladder, so I was just making sure that each foot was going into each square. As for my intermediate version, this one contains the same thing. It's just a double step, so I'm putting both feet on each square, and like I said, you can go either a lot more faster or a lot more slower. I did get a little bit of improvement from my first round of stepping, so this made me a lot more confident in this exercise right here. And I'm also doing 1 minute for these. Ladder drills are perfect to improve rapid footwork patterns and changes in direction. This is going to help you improve agility, quickness, and coordination. By practicing these drills, especially for athletes, it can enhance your ability to move quickly and efficiently in all directions, which is very essential for many sports. It also requires precise foot placement and balance, so it's going to help with footwork and proprioception, and improving your footwork can help you maintain that stability and control during dynamic movements, as well as your speed and also versatility. So you're going to target specific movements and skills that relevate to your sport or athletic goal.
Ladder drill.
And it can be adapted to focus on coordination, speed, endurance.
Yes,
so
you
can
are
make
putting
it
both of your feet in the same squares again, but I still wanted to keep that high knee, so you want to make sure you're trying to be as explosive and high intense the whole way down, as well as being able to swing your arms.
For my second exercise, these involve lateral stepping. This one in specific is a side-to-side lateral stepping. I am just starting off you can either start off from the start of the ladder, but I like to start off from the side, and you're just going to slightly step in and step out with both of your feet. So as one goes in, one goes out to the side. And I was just going up and down for 1 minute. As for my intermediate version, I am doing an in and out drill. So you just make sure that you have both of your feet and you're gonna kind of do like I guess I would say a pivot or a step in, step out. So it's kind of like the side stepping, but you want to make sure both of your feet are in the same square at the same time. And you're also stepping out to the sides of the ladder as well. I did this for about 1 minute, just back and forth on the ladder. And for my advanced version, it is going to be very similar to the second one. So it is still an in and out. The only thing is that it's backwards now. So I've noticed like you still remember the same pattern. It's just going to be more of a coordination challenge to yourself, because although I knew the pattern to go in, I was struggling to go backwards. For my third modality, I'm going to be doing upper body plyometrics, and this one in specific is going to be plyo push-ups. My first version is this easy beginner version of plyo push-ups on the wall. So your feet are going to be on the floor, you're going to be standing up. It's going to be a lot more easier than a push-up on the ground. And you're going to get up into push-up position. So you're going to be leaning against the wall instead of on the floor. And what you're going to do is you're going to push in as a regular push-up. And as you come up, you're actually going to push yourself off. And as soon as you come up from the push off, you want to be able to control and stabilize yourself on the way down. So you want to keep that position the same way for all your reps. And in this specific set, I did do 2 sets of 30 seconds, just because everybody is different. You can do it at a fast pace or slower pace, but I did about 30 seconds for 2 rounds. For my intermediate version, I am doing it on a high mat, so I'm going to be using more of my body weight, and as I push off, I'm going to be feeling my body weight a lot more than how I did when I was standing up. So I was struggling on these a little bit. I did do 2 sets of 30 seconds just because I was starting to feel a lot more tired on these, but they were a really good challenge to myself, and I felt like I improved, especially in the next variation that I'm about to show you. For my advanced version, you can do this on the floor, but it was easier for me to perform it on the high mat again. It is going to be the same thing. The only difference is that from the push-off, you're going to do a clap. So this is like an extra second or two you're spending clapping and then making sure you're ready to plant your hands back into that mat again or back into the floor again. For my second exercise in the upper body plyometrics, I am going to be doing medicine ball slams. This is going to be a beginner medicine ball slam exercise. And so I'm going to have my feet slightly shoulders width apart and with a slight bend on my knee. I am using a 6-pound medicine ball, and as I bring it overhead, I'm going to use my body to try to slam it as hard as I can into the floor. And I'm mainly going to be using my arms for this. These medicine ball exercises are going to work your core muscles in specific, like your rectus abdominis, obliques, transverse abdominis, and erector spinae group muscles. This all gets engaged to stabilize the spine during your movement as you're doing your overhead throws. For my intermediate version of medicine ball slams, I am going to be adding a rotation to it. So I am rotating to one side and slamming it on the floor and then rotating it to the next side. This is going to allow me to use my trunk rotation and try to rotate as much as I can before I slam the ball. And as well with this exercise, I'm going to be having a slight bend in my knee. For my advanced version, I'm going to be doing a single leg medicine ball slam. So same thing, you're having that slight bend in your knee. The only thing is you're lifting up one leg. This is a lot more challenging because you are trying to balance yourself on that one leg with your supported leg to be able to hold yourself up and the medicine ball while it's overhead. And as you come kind of like a hip hinge, you're going to slam it into the floor and then pick it right back up. With these medicine ball slams, by the way, you can let it just drop and then repeat the exercise. I did just get the ball or the medicine ball like straight from when it bounced back at me, so I did it continuously. For my next modality, I'm doing closed cone drills. So for my first one, I'm going to be doing some Z drills. I have 7 cones in the shape the shape of a Z. And what I'm doing at first for my beginner one is I'm trying to get my coordination correctly of just a sprint for right now. So I'm sprinting in the shape of the Z to get familiar with where the cones are and in what direction I need to go in. For my intermediate variation, I am doing the same thing just with a shuffle. So this is also going to help me coordinate and figure out which direction I need to go in with the shuffle rather than a sprint. That way, when I'm doing the next one, I'll be able to perform that exercise without having any trouble going back to the cone. These Z cone drilled exercises help athletes change in direction from a zigzag pattern. This does help improve agility, quickness, and ability to change direction, which is essential in many sports. For my advanced version of the Z drill, I am going to be sprinting or jogging in the shape of the Z. The only thing is I'm going to be going from the next initial cone and repeating it and going back. So I'm doing the full Z. I'm just skipping the ones in the middle, the 3 in the middle. So I'm going back and forth, as you can see here, back to the other one and then back to the one I need to go on to the next. As for my next drill, I'm just doing a 3-cone drill. So this one's a very simple one. This is my beginner one. I'm just sprinting back and forth from the first cone to the third cone, just getting familiar with how far apart I need to go to and when I need to turn. I didn't really have much space, so these cones are separated just a couple feet apart away from each other. These closed agility drills are performed in a controlled environment with like predetermined movements or patterns. So these patterns and movements I'm doing are already planted out for me, or the ones that I chose to do in the direction I want to go to. There is open agility drills where you do have another person or some type of stimulation helping you, or actually directing you into a different direction, but you have to be quick. So it's getting a reaction out of you rather than you knowing where you need to go compared to these exercises. For my intermediate version of the 3-cone drill, I am going to be doing a figure 8. So I'm just starting from one end of the cone and I'm going to sprint or jog into the figure of an 8. So I'm going around each cone, and then at the end I'm trying to make a circle as I sprint and loop back into like kind of like an infinity, but an 8, a figure 8. Using these cones will help with mainly your lower body muscles because you're doing so much running or jumping and quick changes in directions. It also allows you to provide power for the movements that you're performing in the actual exercises that you need to do during lateral or forward movements. For my advanced version, this is very similar to the Z drill, but with this 3-cone drill, I am going to be starting off from the end, and then I'm going to the center, and then going back, and then going back to the end. So I'm going to each cone and then running back to the initial cone I started at. Cone drills are great for conditioning, especially to improve cardiovascular fitness, endurance, and stamina. Performing these drills at such a high intensity can incorporate like interval training principles that help athletes build that endurance, as well as it helps with so much coordination and balance. For my last modality, I am doing some hurdle speed drills. This first one, I'm just going to stand in front of the hurdles. I'm going to be doing like a double leg hop drill. So as I step and hop into it, I'm going to let the back of like my foot kind of push off and allow me to make another hop, and also make sure to swing your arms when you're doing these, just like in the box jumps. That way it can allow your momentum to help your body push up and out to be able to go over the hurdles. For this intermediate version, I am doing the same thing. The only thing is I'm doing it with a flat foot. So I'm trying to step in and do it with the flat foot, but also do it continuously. So I'm hopping into the first one and then... Also, hurdles are very good. They help out with flexibility and mobility in your legs, hips, and ankles. These can also improve your range of motion and flexibility, which can enhance your athletic performance and, of course, reduce your risk of injury. These help so much, especially in your lower body where your quadriceps, hamstrings, and glutes and calves. My next variation is an intermediate version. I am doing the same thing, just I'm trying to do it more continuously. So on this one, I did try to aim for more of a flat foot when I come into the actual hurl and I jump into it, but I wanted to also continuously just be jumping over them. Although they were a bit high for me, there was no other shorter ones, but that is okay. These were a little bit more challenging, trying to get that flat foot and getting all the impact into the ground, but also continuously jumping over the hurdles all at the same time. I did these also for 1 minute. For my cool down stretching, I am going to start off with an arm stretch. So I'm just going to be pulling one over the other and holding it with my other hand, and I'm going to be holding it 30 seconds on each arm. For my next stretch, I'm going to be doing a calf stretch, or they also call it runner stretch. So I'm just going to be leaning against the wall with one of my legs bent, and then the back one's going to be straight. For this one, you should be feeling it in the leg that's straight. And you're just going to hold onto the wall and kind of lean in with that knee that's bent. That way you can feel a good contraction in your calf. I'm going to be holding it for 30 seconds on each leg. For my next stretch, I'm going to be doing some side bends or side reaches. I'm just going to be doing 30 seconds on each side. You can hold for 3 to 5 seconds if you would like, and then come back to where you were initially at, ready to bend again. For my next little stretch exercise, I am doing some shoulder rolls. I am doing just 30 seconds for your shoulders going in one direction, so counterclockwise, and then the other direction, clockwise. For my next one, I'm just going to be doing some neck tilts. So it's kind of like as if you're going to sleep but standing up. So you're just resting your head on one shoulder, and I am holding it there for 30 seconds. This is another one where you can hold it for like 5 seconds, then come back and do it again over the course of 30 seconds. You are going to feel it all in your neck muscles on the opposite side, the side that is open, and the one that's not relaxed. For my next one, I am just doing some standing marches for 1 minute. I'm just making sure I'm stabilizing my core, trying to control the up and down movements of my legs. And just a nice march, nothing high knees, just a relaxed march, just to keep things going, keep the blood flowing, and to relax my muscles after my intense workout. For my next one, I'm just doing a quad stretch, so I'm lifting and bringing one of my legs up and holding it with my arm, bringing my foot to my butt, and I'm holding it there for 30 seconds. I'm just going to do that on each leg, really letting my quad relax, but also elongate and stretch out after my workout. That way I won't feel any soreness. My next one is just going to be a simple little exercise just to make sure I don't have any back pain from any of the exercises that were done. They're going to be cat cows or cat camels. I'm just going to get into a quadruped position, so all fours, and as I hunch up, I'm going to bring my head in and down, let my back kind of just hunch over, and as I come down, I'm just going to let it sink and droop and bring my head up. I just did these for about 1 minute at just a slow, relaxed pace. These did feel really good. If anybody has back pain, I highly recommend these. For my next cool down exercise, I'm just doing some little butterfly pulses. I'm doing these for 30 seconds, so 30-second intervals, 2 times. I'm just bending and bringing my legs together. I'm holding my feet together, that way they won't come apart, and just lifting up my legs to make a butterfly. It doesn't have to be nothing too fast, but definitely something that you'll feel it a little bit once you start moving it, and you're just going to be doing it for 30 seconds. My last stretch or exercise is just a child's pose. I'm going to be holding this for 30 seconds 2 times, or you can do 1 minute. Just in the child's pose, just bending your knees and then sinking your body down. So you can do this on a mat or on the floor as well. This is just going to allow and promote relaxation, especially with deep breathing. It's going to allow you to release tension in the back of your muscles, especially your neck and shoulders, and it can also help alleviate stress and anxiety as well.
and it does help with spinal decompression, so it's going to elongate and decompress as you do the child's pose. And this also provides like an opportunity just to reflect and introspect, be mindful, just to allow your body to get into a deeper connection with your mind, just to promote relaxation and inner peace after your workout, especially after plyometrics.